Peace YouTube, this is Flor Bruin coming to you today with another topic of discussion. So let me take these off before you say, Flor Bruin, you're shape-shifting again. Peace to the east, the west, the north, and the south. I don't even know what I have. Do I have? I don't even know if you guys can see me. Can you? I think I'm good. I think I am. Am I? Okay. I think you're on there. Hey, Quantum Sensei. Hey, Nutta. So, coming for another interesting topic. I actually have Starbucks today. Hey, Pavel. Hey, love. Peace, peace, peace. Hey, JP Styles. Grand Rising. Hey, Jeffrey. It's your 44th birthday. Oh, it's your birthday. We're going to party. Hey, Jeffrey. It's Jeffrey's birthday. Happy anniversaire. Bon anniversaire to Jeffrey. 44 is a big deal. Like that whole 144 vibration. What you doing today? You gonna enjoy? You gonna do something special? Your B-day? It's your B-day too? Oh my gosh. Latoria? Are we still in Cancer season or is this Leo? Are we in the fire? Are we actually in the fire? Happy birthday to you. You going gambling? Uh-oh, Jeffrey, behave yourself. The 144, don't go throw it away. You're supposed to gain, not give. Anyway, join on in. Hey, Vivian. So we're gonna get into the twin flame agent Smiths, and I thought this was a really important topic for everyone, because this is actually one of the reasons why many twinnings don't go down as they should, or there's resistance. So I don't know if everyone got a chance to see the I don't like when the camera holds, you know, when you're trying to hold a camera in a certain way. My camera is like, okay, I think I have, big up to Guccina. Guccina made me get this beautiful camera, like this camera thingamajiggy, and it works, but it's just weird because I'm used to holding the camera all the time. I was just, you know, when you get technology and then you realize, oh, I don't have to do that anymore. So yeah, so many of you realize with the twinning, we talked about twinning on twin flames, and you know, the grand conjunction that's about to happen. I personally think it's going to happen in March, where there is a necessary need to pull towards your twin, and then you kind of like level up. level up, level up, level up. You level up when you meet your twin. But we actually are talking about the opposition, those adverse to twinning, and the actual Smiths that show up, agent Smiths that actually show up to try to keep twins apart. They try to manipulate the situation and scenario with twins. So we're gonna get into that conversation. So family, twin flames is on and popping. As you see, many people are feeling their twins. You may be having issues or dreams about your twin flame. You may just be feeling a connection to another soul that you haven't met yet. Some of you have actually met your twin and you've decided to, you know, engage in the twinning phenomenon. But what you'll notice that there's a lot of resistance sometimes, and it's not always just from the twins themselves. Usually it's definitely, hey, Eric Summers is in the house. Usually this happens from outer sources, beings that are set out, twin flame agent Smiths that are actually purposefully placed in strategic locations and aspects of your life that are you know, infected with some sort of overlay gray. They may have been an agent Smith from the time that, you know, they were placed into your life. We don't even know. They could be they may be connected to an overlay gray, but they could very well be a holographic person or an empty seater, or someone who's engaged in drugs and alcohol, who actually makes themselves more oh, it's a beautiful butterfly, who makes themselves more infiltratable by Agent Smith. Because remember, Agent Smiths can pop into anyone. Remember in the Matrix, if you got a chance to watch the Matrix, big up to RC Star, who actually created the Matrix. You know, Sophia Stewart was actually we got helicopters coming now. Wow, that helicopter is close. What? We got helicopters coming down because we're talking about twin flames. Come on in. So anyway, Sophia Stewart wrote amazing. It was called The Third Eye, but they stole it and coveted it because that's just what Hollywood does. And beings that are dark, they like to covenant somebody else's projects and work and claim it as their own. That's just what they do. We should be understanding that these beings have no loyalty to anyone or anything except themselves and the system. But anyway, Sophia Stewart wrote an amazing book that ended up becoming a movie, cinema, that many of us reference regularly. Oh, I think I have a package coming. Hold on. I have a package coming. Hold on, family. I think it's for me. Oh, that's mine? No, you can put it right there. Thank you. I appreciate it. Do I have to sign for it? No, ma'am. Okay, thank you. Same to you. The delivery guys are really cute. We got UPS. Why does UPS always hire like the best looking guys? What's up with that? You trying to tempt us? See, this is another infiltration. You know what I'm saying? Like, I almost feel like they purposefully put a UPS guy that's really good looking and went to kick it to you, so he's trying to mess with you. He might be a Smith. Let me behave myself. Anyway, so a lot of times Smiths, Agent Smiths are set up purposefully to incept the twinning, to disallow for the twinning to actually have a comfortability or to be able to even merge long enough to even realize how close or how what they are to one another. So we have Agent Smiths, and like I said, they could be several types of twin flame Agent Smiths. They could be overlay gray, attached people who have overlay grays. And remember, we have the cell phones and all these cell towers. So many people are infected with overlay grays based on all the chemtrails. They have nanotechnology in front and on them, a nanotechnology in the chemtrails that fall on the skin, the surface, nanotubes created, and then all of a sudden you have a hijacked human that's now basically working for the system of the grays. So you have overlay grays that end up being Agent Smiths because they are walking around with a remote control, which is the cell phone. Okay, so Agent Smiths can be, twin flame Agent Smiths can be attacked, infiltrated by anyone, just like in a movie. A Smith could pop in anyone at any time. It morphs, it like shape shifts into the person, but really it's an overlay gray. That's a shape shifting, that's a Smith. So you have Smiths like that, holographic people. Those are Smith. Those can be potential Smiths, twin flame Smiths. Also you have empty seeders that are potentiality of being, twin flame Agent Smiths. So what does that mean? So you have people that are set up to thwart your twinning. They may come in as friends, and when you meet your twin, they automatically have adverse comments or are always discouraging you or always trying to get you away from your twin. They attempt to thwart it by bringing temptation into, men realize this too. A lot of men who are twinning with their twin flames have their homeboys, which are infiltrated by Agent Smiths via technology, via drinking and doing drugs. And the men have their homies always telling them that, why are you hanging out with her all the time? Yo, man, I think you're getting lost. Oh, shoot, you're like, what are you, soft now? Oh man, what she got you? Those are all Agent Smiths, meant to deter from twins to fully be able to stay with each other long enough to actually allow the magnetism necessary in order to pull and actually start to feel together as twins. So like I say, on men's side, you get the homies who are infiltrated Smiths that are always discouraging men, and once they see their homeboy, the one that's twinning, starting to fall in love or starting to feel, they see that their homie is actually starting to be involved with the twin, the Agent Smith pops in and discourages him from actually allowing himself to explore that beauty and that fielding together. Now you have on the other side You have the Agent Smiths in relationships. They can come as, girlfriends who are, perpetually saying, oh my gosh, Agent Smith, this is a twin flame, Agent Smith. I saw, I don't know if you should be with him. He's not your cup of tea. He's the opposite of you. He's the opposite of you. I think you're too good for him. I think he isn't, or I think he's above your pay scale, or I think he's below your pay scale. I don't really like him. I saw him looking at me the other day. So I saw him sweating me. Those are twin flame Agent Smiths. I'm just giving you basic matrix terminology that may be a detail that you have a friend or a family member that's infiltrating your basic fielding together with your twin flame. These are twin flame Agent Smiths sent to diabolically and uniformly destroy your relationship with your twin and create distractions and adversity in order to keep your twin from you. So we have to be very mindful of the twin flame phenomenon and how real this is and how necessary it is for you to be aware of your surroundings, people, places, and things. And if you're aware of that and you pay attention to the very nature or non-nature of beings around you, you will realize that when you meet your twin flame and you have this inner knowing. Remember, you've already vetted out that this most likely is your twin flame. You already have an inner knowing this your twin. There has to be a protective shield that you build up energetically to protect yourselves from those outside sources that can be easily infiltrated by Smiths. And how you do that is by basically setting up healthy boundaries to disallow those who aren't in alignment with you conjoining with your twin, and further keeping their thoughts or their judgments at bay until you can actually discern whether they are basic Smiths or just people who maybe care about you and maybe are just thinking a certain way because they're seeing something so magical and they're scared of their friend leaving. That could also be a thing, because sometimes Agent Smiths aren't necessarily that diabolical. They just may be people in your life who are scared of losing their friend, losing their sister or brother, sometimes into ex. And I'll give you an example of watch your language, fam. So, okay. Oh, yes, please. Because I'll give you an example. So an Agent Smith can also be someone who's not even diabolical. They just may be adverse to it because they see how magical or how close you're becoming to this other person, and they feel inside the anxiety of what they feel is like losing you to a being that totally is your other half. So sometimes it's about fear and anxiety coming, somewhat naturally or unnaturally natural, basically just feeling the energies being so strong and being insecure about it, or feeling like that's going to overwhelm your friend or family. And I'll use an example. Sometimes it's a matter of, you meet your twin flame, and it's your twin. You've already vetted it out. Everything's matching up. You're dreaming. You've dreamt about them. You have all the tools necessary to kind of vet out that this most likely is your twin. You've already done that. You guys have both acknowledging that there is a connection here that goes beyond time and space. And then you may have a partner, an ex-partner. I'm using this as an example because it's presently what I'm going through. You have an ex-partner who sees the connection and knows that it supersedes their connection with you, and they have so much anxiety about it, like ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends, and they see this conjoining with your twin, and it causes them to want to rage war. When your ex sees you with your twin, and then they want to wage war against humanity based on the fact that they are scared that the person that they were in love with or feel like, they could get back with you. Maybe they felt like you guys had a connection. You probably do. Maybe you do. Maybe some of you are married to someone else, but your twin flame is somebody there, or vice versa. Maybe the twin is married to someone, but the ex, I'll say ex, because I think if if you are twinning, it should be healthy, and also all partnerships should be dissolved on the outside. Oh, thank you, Fundi Fee. Fundi Fee is in the house. Thank you. I appreciate that, Mama. Fundi Fee, master Fundi Fee. She's like that. She's like that master ninja that comes up in the matriarchy to like sever heads. If you don't keep it cool. All patriarchies should be aware that we have a sisterhood that isn't afraid and it will deal with you accordingly. That's Fundi Fee. Big up to Fundi Fee. Thank you, love. 777. I appreciate it. So again, sometimes it's a matter that what I was saying with your twin flame, you should have resolved all your karmic relationships, any of your Wakanda forever work. Listen, we build in Wakanda. That's what I'm saying. You should have resolved any of your karmic relationships. And I say this all to say is that twin flaming is allotted when you have resolved and also gained a certain amount of wholeness within yourself. And once you've done that, twinning is allotted to occur in a more natural way. Remember, if you're getting resistance, it's because sometimes we have to deal with shadow work, maybe, you know, upgrade our level of our consciousness, our level of awareness. These are things all necessary in order to twin. So if you aren't there, then you're still involved in karmic relationships, marriages, other relationships that you are still having to go through a karmic cycle in order to gain some wisdom or consciousness or awareness. Okay, so if your twin is still engaged in a marriage, or you yourself are engaged in a marriage, it is necessary for you to, and I'm not listen, I won't ever tell anyone to leave your family base over a twin, because you don't have to leave. Once it's time for you to twin, everything will clear its way for twinning properly. And we talked about the conjunction, the great conjunction. So right at the time when we're at the precipice of our conjunction, of meeting and actually fielding together with our twin, everything will be absolved. So anything that you're in will naturally absolve in a healthy and cohesive way, without hurting, without severing ties unnaturally and creating more negative karma. So if your twin is still engaged in a marriage or in a relationship, that has to be resolved. They are doing shadow work. Allow them to do so with a healthy distance and healthy boundaries, and that is something different. Those are not Agent Smiths. That's a debt, a karmic relationship debt that has to be lived out in order to gain the wisdom necessary that they chose before they came in incarnation. Okay, so that's something different. But when I talk about Agent Smiths, sometimes we have relationships with other people, past exes or closer exes, or maybe not even exes, or people that are exiting your life now, stage left or via stage right, depending on your scenario. And you have met your twin. The other that you have just had a relationship with, your ex, may be an Agent Smith just by chance, based on the fact that they are so in anxiety, and seeing that fire in the two of you, it scares them to lose you, and also it frightens them to see you, or it just is basic jealousy. It's, well, I don't want to say jealousy, because jealousy, sometimes when someone loves you and they want to be with you, it's not so much jealousy. It's just that they fear the loss of not being able to have that connection with you again. Do you know what I mean? So by the nature of that kind of relationship, sometimes the Agent Smiths can end up being someone who isn't purposefully Agent Smith. It isn't purposeful Smith. Okay, so right now I'm noticing we have twin flames, Agent Smiths being sent out in the droves. The Smiths are sent out. The red alert has been sent out since we've been discussing twinning. Just the very nature of helicopters flying so closely above my truck at the time we're discussing twins lets you know how afraid and how aware the dark Kabbalists are of this twinning allowance of us being aware of twins, and also getting into conversation that would allow healing of twins. Oh, hold on. I have a little person approaching. Hold on. Hey, Mama.
Mommy,
Yeah.
can we do the lip pounder?
Hmm?
With the glitter? Can we do the lip pounder with the glitter?
I don't know now. Did you have your muffins first?
Oh, no, yeah.
Okay. So afterwards I'll do it for you. Okay? Okay. It's my little people. Little people everywhere. I love it. Oh, wait, before I go on, I know there's a sidebar. Oh, and while we're taking a break for a minute from the twinning conversation, please put a like on the video, please. I appreciate it when you put a like, and I love to see that you enjoy the conversation. I think, you know, a lot of times I think YouTube is what is YouTube? YouTube is doing, why I've been noticing requesting that you do so, because before it didn't really matter, is because YouTube is doing some sort of like shadow banning of people's videos talking about twins. And one of the things I noticed with people telling me that they're doing with my videos as opposed to other people's videos previous to you watching it, that you may get a like some sort of census or something, which I don't even get when I watch other people's videos. They do it with mine. So apparently, you know, they are attempting to you know, because Flurboon talks about ET. I think it's interesting. But if you put a like, it just lets them know. It's almost like a middle finger to them saying, can't stop, won't stop. Anyway, I wanted to the mommy. I know there was a mommy down here who asked me what I give to my little ones that were vegan and that were egg, soy, and dairy free. I had these muffins that I get, and they're starting to sell them. If I don't make them myself, I love to make our muffins, and me and my little ones make our muffins. And I think I gave you guys the ingredients, but this is a new one. I know the mommies were asking me for, well, not all the mommies, anybody who eats really healthy things. This is a Abby's, and it's really, really good. And it's they made it school friendly, so there's no eggs, no soy, because you know we don't do soy either. And this is the only muffins I really, really love. And I give these to my little ones, and they really, really like it. So I know mommies were asking me, like, if you don't have time, because I know some moms work all, you know, they're working and they don't really have time to make the muffins and stuff like that. This is really safe, and I really back it. So if you, and I'm not a sponsor for them. You can get this at Whole Foods. You know, I know Whole Foods is sleeping with the devil, but if you want to get a chance, check this out. They have poppy seed, they have blueberry, they also have chocolate chip. My little ones love it. It's really good, and I feel safe giving it to them. So, oh, weed is the devil. You had to add, Terry. Yeah, weed is the devil. Hey, boo. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, relax a little bit, and we'll do that. All right, everything else is good. I'll do that. Okay. I'm not going to be on too long because we're going to go to the Science Center today. So big up to all the mommies who are in summer zone. We came back from Brazil, so we're going to go to the Science Center today. And we're going to go look at the observatory. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there. I know a couple mommies were asking, and I wanted to really, yeah, Whole Foods is the devil. Listen, I dip and dive in the matrix, and I go where I want. Hey, melanated high priestess. Hi, mama. I make a lot of my own stuff with the little ones. And you know, I bake in like glass, and let's go back into the Smiths, because we can, we'll go on this all day. And I ordered this toilet paper that was bamboo because I couldn't get the bamboo. Anyway, you know what? I need to donate certain videos for that, because I just have, like, I ordered the bamboo because I stopped selling the bamboo. Anyway, let's go forward. Weed is the devil. We're going to go in all kinds of tangents. So anyway, the Agent Smiths are set out. It's purposefully a lot of times in a matrix to deter you from fielding with your twin. It's extremely necessary for you to be mindful of people, places, and things. It isn't a time for you to be complacent or complicit. This is a vigilant time on the planet. The twinning is happening. You are either dreaming about them, you've already met them, you've already, and I say this all to say not everybody will necessarily, to my knowledge, listen, hold on. To my knowledge, not everybody will necessarily have to twin before the conjunction, but during the conjunction is when the source players, isn't there somebody who says source players? When the source players actually are able to conjoin, and it actually causes ripples in the matrix, and it actually helps with the convergence. So and the collapsing of timelines. I know that's a big deal. So if you were actually in twinning mode, watch the people around you. Make sure your cell phones aren't always around, because again, you're emitting a vibration. Remember, they are also watching our vibration. People always ask about the helicopters. The helicopters, all they're doing is being sent out because there is some sort of alert that goes off when someone's emitting a frequency that is very reminiscent of whistleblowers, ETs, hybrids, energetic influxes in the environment. They're being sent out because there is an emergency signal that goes off when everybody becomes illuminated. And people think, oh, that's crazy. It isn't crazy. They have technology that is sensing when there is an influx in energetic fields, or when a magnetic field is is changing quickly. What happens when you have this conversation, because they were like, why would just helicopters come around when people have conversations? It's not the conversation, it's the elevation in your auric field that is causing a sensory to go off and go check it out. So the helicopters are not doing anything but being sent out to find out what's going on in that stratosphere. Why is their alert going off? So that's all that's about. They aren't allotted to mess with you right now. So long as you stay in your lane and you stay in your court, there isn't anything that they can do. So I always tell people, if you're getting helicopters, whenever time you have an influx or an elevation in your consciousness and your self-awareness, they're supposed to do that. There's some sort of monitoring system monitoring people's energetic field. That is why sometimes if they find out that someone is heightening in awareness or in in consciousness, they will send out Smiths. They will be alert. And it's so easy now. Back in the days, they would have to go and infiltrate your space. They would have to set up covertly to find out your friends and family. There's an easier way to incept you. It's called your cell phone. Your cell phone is the happy remote control that the dark Kabbalists use to monitor you and those around you. So they don't have to go and send out people that you don't know to come and try to infiltrate your circles in your space. They can utilize someone's cell phone through the towers, infiltrate them, because they already have nanotechnology in them. So they're already chipped, means they're already inceptible, and they will say, okay, this person is, Kathy is now illuminated. Uh-oh, she's met her twin. We don't want this phenomenon to be catchy, because once people twin, it's catchy. It's like a flicker. It's like a flicker that sends off other flames to start to find each other. So they don't want that. So they'll send out signals to your cell phones, to other people's cell phones around you. And if people are sipping on the yak every day, meaning they drinking, they got wine and spirits, they're susceptible for infiltration. If they're doing drugs, yes, marijuana every day, especially if they're smoking marijuana. Remember, I talked to you about, and it isn't a judgment. I'm just saying, if you're going to engage with an herb, burning it is the worst way to absorb a herb. The best way to absorb a herb is by drinking, steeping it in tea at a light temperature, or placing it and infusing it in oils yourself. Okay, so if you're engaged in smoking something, you're burning it and you're changing its molecular structure, and then you're engaging with it, which makes you more susceptible for infiltration. So if you're going to engage with any sort of herb, this is my suggestion. It isn't judgment, because everybody, I know more chiefers than I don't. So this is, but I do notice that when I know people who are engaged in dealing with herbs respectfully, their auric field is way more sound than those who are perpetually smoking. And oh, there's a helicopter. See what I'm saying? Listen to that. You hear it? You hear how close the helicopter is? That's close. Okay? And the helicopter only comes because it's checking out where the frequency is. There's an influx in a frequency. I'm emitting a frequency that can be registered, and an alarm goes off and they just check it out. And when they do, they'll send the Smiths and cell phones. A lot of times they'll send them whoever's in closest. Remember, I'm usually by myself, which disallows for infiltration as much. That's the good thing about sometimes being in a very nice little bubble. I'm outside of the matrix, so there isn't much that you can infiltrate as far as me, because all the people around me are already paranoid. They're already paranoid. so and most of them don't even carry cell phones like that, because they you know what I'm saying? I'm about that life. So infiltration is on. So if you're hanging with people that are like yourself, chances are of infiltration is a little lighter. If you have a lot of Agent Smith potentialities around you, meaning you got a lot of people, maybe workplaces, you're out in the matrix a lot, you got a lot more potential. Remember, Neo was only susceptible to infiltration if he went out in the matrix. When he was hanging with Trinity and Morpheus and all his homies that were out, that were basically from Zion, he was safe. It was only when he went in the perimeters of the matrix with people that were part of the system was he susceptible to infiltration. So if you keep your circle tight and you disallow those who are perpetually susceptible to infiltration at bay, you won't have to necessarily worry about the consistent necessary measures that you would have to take if you have people too close that you have to kind of shield up all the time. Okay, so that's just common. Just use common sense in that manner. But if you have friends around you who are drinking, sipping on the yak, smoking every day, if you have people that are always using their cell phone and don't have protectors or anything on it, if you have people that are low fields, meaning you have murderers or people who are selling drugs or prostitutes around you, people who are sexually, because remember, succubus and incubus, those are people who have succubus and incubus, that's their infection. So they're already susceptible based on having an outer being that's already utilizing them. So those beings can be sold out to Smiths at any point. So it's very necessary if you're twinning right now to watch people, places, and things. And also, maybe your twin does not know the language we use a lot of times. And, you know, even my twin noticed that, you know, there were people around them saying, you know, calling out of the blue. People he didn't even know, hasn't talked to in a long time, calling him out of the blue and saying, yo, man, how come you're not hanging out anymore with us? How come what's going on? And are you up underneath somebody's skirt? Listen to what they said. Dudes he hasn't spoken to in a long time, calling him out of the blue saying, yo, where are you? Yo, what you lying? He was like, he's never talked to these people. How would they even feel that? Because that's an Agent Smith. So I just told him, I said, you know, I don't want to alert him too much. I just say, you know, they're sensing something. So psychically, I tell him psychically, they're sensing something, but that's a Smith being sent out because he's messing with Flurbrune. So they already know, the Smiths already know. So his circle is going to be more infiltratable because he's more out in the world than I am. So they won't come my direction. They'll come to his, saying things like that. And he was like, you know, what if I am underneath someone's skirt? What if I am? You know what I mean? So be mindful that Agent Smiths can be anywhere, anytime, any place. If you are in the realm of, you know, the outer world, keep your circles tight. And when you start fielding with your twin, it isn't something that you should announce so openly or readily. And you know, like with you guys, I mean, you know that I'm attempting to twin, but I'm not putting my twin on social media. I would suggest you keep your twin to yourself privately. You don't want to put pictures of your twin outwardly on social media. You don't want to put them on Front Street because that also allows for more susceptibility to Agent Smiths, because as soon as they see your twin, because people are very clever. As soon as they see your twin on social media, he will get a host or she will get a host of friend requests. They will have people coming straight into their DMs, attempting to sidebar, infiltrate, or try to see or be nosy and try to get into your twin's frame of consciousness and try to see their way in. If you disallow that, that's just my suggestion. I know we live in social media heaven or hell, depending on what you consider it. And I know a lot of the millennials live mostly posting on social media all their business. But one thing I notice is that as soon as the twins are showing themselves publicly, it allows for more infiltration and attacks. So, you know, keep your twin to yourself until that very moment when you have both made a point to totally feel together, where it will be impenetrable. Remember, once the twins have basically fielded together and have merged like this, there isn't anything that could tear the twins apart. The issue is that all that resistance comes from waiting for the conjunction, waiting for the right time. And it's almost like sitting out, waiting for the right time. And you're sitting out in plain sight, and anything knows that you're about to, set, basically get a goal, right? It's almost like playing soccer a little bit, and you're staying too close to the goal line, and the others see you too close to the goal line, and they know that you're about to score, so they're going to come and try to make sure they deter you from scoring. It's kind of like that. So the conjunction, if you didn't get a chance to watch my other video, who's a share, watch the video previously. I talked about the twin flame conjunction, the grand conjunction coming. Please check out the previous video when we talk about the conjunction, which I found the dates really interesting, where twin flames can come back online in March 2020, when full vision comes out, when 2012, the clock actually hits 2012 in the Ethiopian calendar. Someone big to the homie who gave me the actual date. He's actually from, I think he's from Ethiopia, and he actually gave me the date. The date for 2012, the calendars, actually, remember, September to remember, we were talking about September. We thought it was September this year. That's going to be crazy. I think it is. But September of 2020 is actually 2012. I didn't know that. I thought it was, I didn't know, I knew it was in September, coming up 2012, and I knew it was around this time. So apparently, according to the actual calendar itself, the Ethiopian calendar, 2012 hits in September of 2020. Go figure that. So big up to the homie who gave me that information. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So we know that the conjunction is going to happen. The twin flames will be allotted to actually merge effortlessly. There will, at the point of merging, when the conjunction is in alignment, there won't be any deterrence from it. I'm letting you know. Once the deterrence, once there isn't any more resistance and deterrence, the twin flames will conjoin, and then there is a fielding up and leveling up in the, it's going to be a spike in the actual ascension process of Mother Tiamat and the beings living there in close proximity. That's what I'm saying. They're really trying hard now, before the actual cosmic event, before the actual conjunction, to deter you now, before before you hit that point of zero return. So just make sure you're watching your general environment, people, places, and things, like they tell people in AAA. When they're telling people in AAA, watch out for people, places, and things. You know a potential Smith. There isn't anybody who should be questioning it. Listen, this is let me tell you something, my beautiful family. When you're happy and someone's treating you well, and you're living your best life, there shouldn't be anybody questioning that or trying to deter you from being in that actual vibration. So if you're healthy and you're happy and you're meeting someone and you guys are having a good time, and both of you are engaging in a healthy, cohesive way, publicly and privately, and there are people questioning that or trying to incept on that, that is a Smith. That is a straight out Smith. There isn't any reason. If you are happy, your friends should be happy for you, and your family should be happy for you. When I'm smiling and skipping around here, like if I'm 12 and I just had my first kiss, or I held hands, and people see that, the first healthy response should be, I'm so happy for you, or a smile from them, or almost like a feeling like, wow, I love that. Just admiration. If someone is adverse to you being happy or being in love, or being elevated from being in a relationship that builds you as opposed to breaks you down, those are Smiths. And those are people that you should really look a little side-eyed, and I'm not going to tell you what to do, but those are people you should probably keep at bay in all aspects of your life. Because if they can't be happy for you, then those are people working on enemy lines. Those are people that can harm any scenario, which people, listen, if someone sees you doing something and living your best life and it makes them angry or jealous, I question the motivation of them being in your life. Those are most likely vampires and parasites who are there only to feed off of you. And when you do something too great that illuminates maybe their lack of movement or their lack of happiness, or maybe their lack of self-esteem, and that illuminates it every time you do something great, that's a testament that you need to keep them, I wouldn't even see them, keep them at bay. Those are people that you probably should sever ties with, because those are vampires. There isn't anyone in your life that shouldn't be happy if you're happy, as long as it's healthy. Notice I always equate healthy to it, because yes, if you're with somebody who's always breaking you down, a twin isn't going to do this. So I'm just letting you know, a healthy twin, because remember, if you're in balance, your twin is in balance. So it does show up a little differently, but for the most part, when twins are together, other people around them sense it, and it's always a beautiful thing. When I'm with my twin, everybody recognizes it. They recognize it the first time we seen us together. So when you're with your twin, everybody recognizes the greatness and the grandioseness of that relationship, of that illumination, and they feel it, and it should make them happy. It should actually make them gravitate towards you, and also it should make them also want to replicate that in their own lives. So it's very important for you guys to recognize twin flame agent Smiths, and to delegate a shield, or delegate some healthy boundaries, or to make sure you shield up if you have to engage in a matrix where people have their cell phones and potential are potential to get infected every time they have they're out, you're going out in the matrix. And I also suggest, and this is just my suggestion, because I'm big on sacred geometry, is if you guys are twinning, that you always have an aspect of each other represented on yourselves. Like sometimes just to have it like something that feels together. Like, I like to do, I like to have things made all the time, but sometimes it's good to have like twin flames. If one of you has a bracelet that's two-part bracelet that you buy together. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, Jeffrey. Thank you. Thank you, 1111. Wake up. If you two have a bracelet that's one, I always love those. Like, children, mothers have that sometimes when they have little pieces of each other on each other. I almost feel like that medallion kind of always reinforces the twinning to be protected, and always a conscientious decision, even with the twins themselves. So if you have a bracelet, you break it apart and the other one wears a piece of it. Or a lot of people have pieces of heart. So one heart, one parrot. I know that's corny. It's kind of old school, but there was a reason why they did that. Like one piece of a heart on one person and the other heart. Or if you have a yin and yang, you represent the dark, he represents the light. He represents the light, you represent the dark. You know what I mean? Things like that are also healthy reminders of sacred geometry on the body, as a constant reminder of twinning. So it allows for always a necessity to put it back to whole. It's almost like a subconscious symbol of always trying to bring back the wholeness of it. So I always suggest that as a healthy reminder. Also, you can do that on your heart space, which is, the ring finger. Why? You guys know why we have this as our ring finger, right? The reason why we have this finger as our ring finger is because this is the direct vein that goes directly to the heart. It's actually the one finger on your body that has a direct connection to your heart. So that's why we have the ring finger. So if you want a healthy reminder, that's why people always put the marriage, the ring, the rings on this finger as a consistent reminder of a connection to the heart space. If you put something on there, like, remember when many of you saw me for years, when I wasn't with my Nazi anymore, I would always have I would have my my magnet on here, my I forgot what it's called, my magnet. It was like a black tourmaline magnet, and what it was to do was heal the aspect of the heart, and also it helped me to sever ties with my Nazi. So I used it as a way to kind of clear out my heart space and the connection I had with him to my heart. So that's what I did. I just did it. So I did that for years, and then I didn't need it anymore, so I didn't wear it anymore on that finger. But if you want a connection to your actual twin, and it has to be an agreement that you may want to, I don't like doing anything permanently, but you do something that's a reminder of each other on that finger. So if you have a ring, take part of the ring, put one on him, put one on her. Okay, so I always think it's nice to have healthy reminders to your twin, because until the conjunction happens, there will be Agent Smith sent out perpetually, and they're sending them out in the droves. So, somebody's going to call him and try to deter the relationship, or someone in his circle is going to, and it may not always be to the greatest degree, because as balanced as you show up as a twin, as balanced as their environment will show up. Like I said, I'm less infiltratable because I exist. Oh, thank you, Chris. I appreciate Chris Dragon. 5 5. You know that 555 is showing up everywhere. Woo! 5 in the yard. 5 is in the house. So make sure that you are aware. Like I said, my environment's a little cleaner aesthetically because I'm more balanced in my self-awareness, heightened in self-awareness. So my environment will show up with less permeable factors of Smiths. You would have to be a part of my own world already to be connected to being able to infiltrate me. I'm already self-aware. So I already know that I already allow those things that are for my greatest and highest good to stay in my general environment, especially I'm a mama bear. So I already do that with my cubs. Okay, so my cubs, I'm very protective of my space with my cubs anyway as a mother. So I already have a very clear space. But men sometimes walk in the world a little differently, and his profession also puts them in a little more of that spectrum of light. So he would have more permeation in his, he hasn't gotten a lot, but he's gotten people calling him from the past. Plus we're in that retrograde, calling from the past, asking why is he so, you know, why isn't he out, and, you know, because he always used to be out and about in his own world. So why is he not out and about? And those are Smiths being sent out. But because he's so, remember, he's connected to me. So the fact that we're balanced in that way, he's going to be up on that. Just doesn't have the verbiage to kind of, you know, kind of convey it in a way that we would have the terminology to convey it. But the only thing with me that is coming up as far as a Smith, and it's not a purposeful Smith, is my ex. My ex is not happy. My ex isn't happy for reasons, and I have a love for my ex. I love my ex. Their love hasn't left. The love hasn't left the building. When I love somebody, I love them for a lifetime. That's just me. When I love anyone, if I love you, you already know I love you for life. It's my nature, is how my parents raised me. So my ex knows I love him more than anything, and I love him. I will love him every lifetime. I have a love for him that goes beyond time and space as well. It's not a twin, but it's a love that's there. So my ex also feels a certain way. So that's also puts a Smith in my midst, because I'm conscientious of how he feels, and I want to make sure I keep his feelings in alignment without making him feel like he's losing.
Coming in?
Yep, I'm gonna come in now. Okay. So anyway, family, I got little people who are summoning me. Watch your Smiths. It's very important to watch your people, places, and things. Twinning is happening on a grand scale, and the potentiality is in everyone's life. It isn't just me. It isn't just you. It's everything around us. And the more people that come together and twin is the more that it makes it easier for each one of us to be able to feel that energy. And at the time of the conjunction, when we actually unite with our twins fully and infiltratable, it's going to be magical. So I thank you for joining today for this conversation. I hope that was helpful. If you leave the building, we do have 430 people in the house. Would you mind putting a like on the video to let YouTube know that basically that Flurboon is someone to keep, and so this message can be shared, because they've been shadow banning certain people, and I know with my twin flame videos is the one video that they do not want shared with anyone. So I just ask, if you leave the building, just like you come to my house, if you could just put a like when you're leaving, that's wonderful. I love you, and we'll have another conversation. And watch your Smiths. Keep them, lock them, clap them, break them up. Clear your environment. I love you, family. Peace. Thank you, middle class mama. I appreciate it. Thank you.